not one and the same. You can be sensual without being sexual, but you can also be very, very sensual and sexual at the same time.
Hello, my name is Adrian and welcome to With the Flow stream. This channel is an organic continuum of the conscious community center With the Flow that used to be based in Amsterdam, and now I'm bringing it online. This channel is all about a holistic approach to living a healthy life, mostly revolving around movement and nutrition, as I'm a yoga teacher and a holistic nutritionist, but as well about alternative lifestyles. So in this very first episode, I will introduce you to Eleanor, which is a girl that I met on my yoga teacher training in Guatemala. And I was very inspired by her, and I still am. She is a founder of Sensual Yoga. More about it just in a second. Thank you for watching. Yes.
Hi, I'm Eleanor Hadley. I am a sensuality and self-love coach and founder of Sensual Yoga. And Sensual Yoga is a grounded embodiment practice inspired by yoga and exotic feminine movement. And I'm going to be bringing this to Amsterdam coming up on July 6th. So Sensual Yoga is something that I created that is a little bit different to traditional yoga. Traditional yoga tends to be very linear, very masculine in energy, and I created Sensual Yoga to ensure that there was a practice that women could do that was very, very feminine in energy. It's very grounded, it's very circular, it's very sexy, and it's really, really fun. It's all about you. It's not about what you look like, it's not about what your body can do, but it's about how it feels. I'd love to see you there.
Hi, Eleanor.
Hi. Sorry. I was playing in my crown. Sorry. Okay. I'm ready.
We made crowns.
We made crowns.
I kind of don't understand why this is not like a everyday accessory.
I think it needs to be. I think you should start a trend here in Amsterdam. Yeah.
Feel free to follow this trend.
I'm gonna follow it.
Yeah.
I'm at least following you.
Okay, so Eleanor is a goddess of sensuality coming from faraway lands of Melbourne, Australia.
Yes.
And she is the founder of Sensual Yoga, which combines sensual movement with yoga.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to add to this short description I gave?
Sure thing. So Sensual Yoga is a practice that I created. It's a grounded embodiment practice which is inspired by yoga and exotic feminine movement. So I have my history in pole dancing and owning a pole dancing studio, as well as teaching yoga when we trained together, and so I kind of decided to combine my two loves, create Sensual Yoga.
Beautiful. And what is your journey with your sensuality?
Oh, my journey with my sensuality. This has been quite a few years in the making, I suppose. I first got my introduction to the world of sensuality through pole dancing and being a student, and it was the first time that I had ever danced in a way that was not necessarily about performance, and it was about just feeling really, really good. I think that sensuality is something that for a lot of people seems to be a little taboo, or we don't talk about the importance of sensuality, and for me it's number one. So important.
Can you recall like a strong aha moment or a moment in time when you feel that your own sensuality or connecting to that sensuality could bring you into a much better place in life?
Absolutely. I actually had a moment a few years ago when I was going through a breakup, and this was back when I owned my studio, and I was feeling all the feelings, very sad and emotional, and after I would teach each night I would stay back at the studio and I would turn the lights down and I would turn the music up and I would just dance. And that for me, it was almost like dance therapy. It was so healing, and it allowed me to really tap into my sensuality but not have to be perfect and just move. I also think there's nothing quite as feminine as creating a flower crown, so
it's hard to beat that.
Pretty
good. Has your relationship with women changed in a way since you've been teaching the sensual yoga practice?
Absolutely. I think that my relationship with women, I've developed so much more empathy, as well as complete awe of women and all that, you know, we're capable of doing. I think that through the movement practice, I've really seen women just totally come out of their bodies and out of their, you know, self-consciousness, and it's just so amazing to see women really step into their sensuality and own that and feel really powerful within that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I have my own experience when I used to do pole dancing and exotic dance as well myself, and that was the moment that was a big turning point in my own life, when I saw these beautiful goddesses around me expressing themselves so freely, and being so full of themselves in the best sense of the word. It made me realize a lot of things.
It's really powerful. I think that a lot of people see particularly sensual, exotic, feminine movement as being purely for the purpose of, you know, the male gaze. It's always this external, you know, for someone else or a performance, and female sexuality is seen as being very much owned in a lot of ways. And so when we can take that back, and when we can really embody it and explore sensuality and movement for ourselves and not for anybody else, not for the validation of anybody else, that's when the magic happens.
It's great.
Oh my
gosh.
It's
great. And it's great to find an outlet for all that we feel, for all that we want to embody. And in our everyday life, like, when do you have a chance to become a goddess? When you go to a supermarket, or
when you go to a supermarket wearing a flower crown.
Oh yes.
That's when it happens.
But yes, we don't even realize how important it is until we start doing it.
Yeah, it's really true. I think that we don't often take the time to really explore how divine and wonderful and fabulous we are, and explore that through things like movement, things like being in nature, making crowns. And yeah, it's a really beautiful way to tap into that which everyone has within them, but we don't often honor.
Have you seen a lot of transformation with your students while following your courses?
Yeah, I really have. It's actually funny that you asked that, because I just got back from teaching a retreat in Greece, and one of my students in particular, I had a group of women there, we set intentions, and she set the intention to have a breakthrough, and as the instructor I was like, oh, okay, one breakthrough. But I realized that, you know, I was just there to facilitate and hold space for her, and by the end of the week she said, oh my gosh, like I did have this breakthrough. And I find that by giving women permission to move in a way that they want to, whatever their body feels like doing, giving women permission to access that part of them that they have been told by society that is not okay, there's so much power in that. And I've seen so many women completely transform, and, you know, either get into relationships, get out of relationships if they needed to, really feel more confident speaking, presenting, you know, being in public, their sex life.
The memory card just got full when you started to talk about sex life.
I know. What are the chances? Okay, cool. So when people find out that I'm a sensuality and self-love coach and founder of Sensual Yoga, they always tend to ask me, what is the difference between sensuality and sexuality? A lot of people really assume that they're the same thing. And even the dictionary talks about sensuality being very similar to sexuality. And for me, that doesn't make any sense. I feel like they are so different, but also so intertwined. And so to be sensual is all about, you know, being of the senses. It's about mindfulness, you know, but I also like to take it further and take it into the realm of body love and empathy and feeling, deeply aware of and connected to, your internal, your external, and like your interpersonal worlds. So with that, when you're cultivating sensuality and you're becoming more aware and more connected, it's inevitable that your sex life is going to improve as well.
When you can feel so much more deeply and you're so much more in the moment, then of course that will improve, definitely.
Exactly. But they're not one and the same. You can be sensual without being sexual, but you can also be very, very sensual and sexual at the same time. It really helps.
And I also want to talk about the opposite, when the sensual is seen as sexual, but I think there is a big difference, or the reason why many women find sensuality scary or taboo, because there is this notion that it is for someone else, and it comes from a place of doing, like you're doing all this movement to show something or to get something in return, whereas sensuality comes from a place of being.
I love that. I love that way of putting it. That's so beautiful. I just felt that. Yeah, it is. It really is. It's about just being and being in and being connected, and it being for yourself and nobody else. It's not for anybody else's approval. Whereas I think often societally, sexuality is seen as being something for other people and for the purpose of, validating yourself for other people. But even then, I don't think sexuality should be seen like that at all. But when we're talking about sensuality, you can just be completely sensual all by yourself. You don't have to have anybody else there to help or to perform to or be a certain way. It's about that.
It can be distracting a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much. I feel like you're a well of sensual wisdom. I love listening to you talk, and I love reading your posts. You should check out Eleanor's Instagram. All the pictures are so well curated, and I love to read through all the messages and through everything you have to say. It's really beautiful.
Thank you so much. It's so beautiful to be here, and I love talking about sensuality. I can talk about sensuality until the cows come home.
Well, we can.
We can. They're over there now. So. We've got a while.
Is that like a Australian
yeah, till the cows come home. It's like for a long time. Yeah.
You learn something every day.
Yeah.
Well, if you would like to get a taste of Eleanor's work and of the way she teaches, which is great and hilarious, by the way, so much fun, you should come to the workshop that we are hosting together. I will just guide you through a little cacao ceremony, but the most part will be Eleanor's sensuality. Can you say
Sensual Yoga? I can. Sensual Yoga. Yes.
And self-love immersion.
Yes, it's going to be really beautiful. Cacao ceremony to open with Adrian. I think you're going to sing for us.
I will.
If you haven't heard her voice yet, she's an angel and a goddess. Full package. And yeah, I'll guide you through my signature practice of Sensual Yoga. Can't wait.
6th of July from 2 to 5 in the White House Collective in Vondelpark in Amsterdam. I'll link everything
in the places. Maybe it's here. Maybe it's here.
Thanks for hanging on.
Yeah.
Big love.
Thank you. Bye.